What I was doing was starting to work, and I didn't want to shut up. I didn't want to stop. Hello, Christine Rosemond here, and welcome back to Life Lessons 50/50. 50 things that I've learned, indeed I'm learning, in the almost 50 years that I've been here. Now, last week we talked about the power of your words. If you missed that video, there is a link in the description. This week, I want to talk about the power of your thoughts. Yes, your thoughts wield tremendous power. Thoughts can make the difference between you being at peace or in torment, whether you're well or ill, whether you achieve something or not, whether or not you get sleep at night. Thoughts are very powerful. Everything you will ever encounter in this life started out as a thought. Yes, thoughts become creations, and thoughts will draw a reality into your life. So it's really important that we are thinking good stuff. Alright, thoughts can affect what you achieve. If you can visualize something, you can achieve it. If you think you can't, you won't. Those thoughts, it's how you think is extremely powerful. And thoughts can have you in torment. You know, you've had a fallout with someone, or someone's done something irritating, and you're all, and what does that do? It makes you feel all upset. Whereas maybe if you just let that go, you would be at peace. It's how your mind is responding to that situation. This is the battleground. The mind is the battleground. There is also scientific evidence to say that thoughts directly can affect your health. Now, you know, to put this on an example that most of us have experienced, you know, when you felt anxiety, you can get a knot in your stomach. Some people get a rash, nervous rash or something. Me, I get cold sores, yeah, nasty little things. Some poor souls have heart attacks. There was nothing wrong with their body. It's because of how they're thinking, because of the stress. Yes, there are circumstances in their lives, but it's how they are responding, how they are thinking about those circumstances that cause their body to respond in a negative way. Dr. Lisa Rankin, she talks a lot about how negative beliefs and thoughts can affect your body. And I recently heard her talking about someone who had been diagnosed with cancer. Now listen to this. This person had been diagnosed with cancer and told they had 3 months to live. 3 months later, to the exact date, that person died. But they did an autopsy only to find they'd been misdiagnosed. They didn't have cancer at all. But because that person believed they had cancer, because they were told by someone in a white coat, you know, and these people in white coats, yes, they do wield a lot of power. We do pay attention when they speak. Sometimes they're wrong, and that's another video. Anyway, this person believed that they were going to die, and so they did. The power of belief, the power of their thoughts. They didn't have cancer at all. Lisa Rankin also talks about a study that was done showing that 79% of medical students report developing symptoms suggestive of the illnesses they are studying. Because they get paranoid and think they're going to get sick, and the body complies and they get sick. Incredible. The power of your thoughts. Now, there is an ancient text which strongly recommends us thinking about whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, to think on those things. Well, good advice there. Good advice. Because the truth is, whatever you are thinking about, you're going to draw that into your life. There's another proverb, ancient proverb, which says, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Now, your heart is your subconscious mind. It's what scientists call your subconscious mind. And when you fill this stuff up here, your conscious mind, it eventually drops into your subconscious, and it ends up being what you truly believe, and you will draw that into your life. So no wonder it says, guard it, Be careful what you put in there. Yes? You know, it wasn't that long ago, I was in a situation where I was so full of anxiety, so full of fear. I could feel a pressure coming down on my head. It was just awful. I felt I was drowning in a sea of fret. I really did. Just waves of fear and worry coming on me. It was absolutely horrific. Now, I've known for a long time that there's a huge amount of power in praise, and so I started just bursting out words of praise and thankfulness and gratitude. Now, the thing was, I was sitting in a car, and there were people sitting in a car near where I was, and they could see me, so I had to get my phone out and pretend I was talking to someone on the phone, because the thing was, what I was doing was starting to work, and I didn't want to shut up. I didn't want to stop, and so I had to pretend I was talking on the phone, and I didn't want to stop because I didn't want this pressure coming back on my head. And I'm like, thank you that this is going to be okay, and thank you that this is going to work out. And you know, I think if anybody had seen me without my phone, they might have thought I was doolally. But the truth was, I was bringing healing to my mind, because I went from literally gripped with fear, with pressure on my head, to being at peace. By doing what? By changing what I was focusing on. You see, what you think about, what you focus on, you magnify, and you draw it into your life. And it's a little bit like a tuning fork, all right? Now, a tuning fork, you know, when you ding it, it resonates, and it resonates the key that it's tuned to, all right? Now, I want you just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, thoughts, because thoughts are vibrations. Everything is vibrations. So say I've got a tuning fork, which is tuned to the note C. And on the other side of the room, I've got a string of other tuning forks, all tuned to a different note. But one of them is tuned to C. When I ding this tuning fork, it will resonate out, it will go across the room to where all these other tuning forks are, but which one will respond? Which one will resonate back? The one that is resonating on the same frequency, the one that is C, that will resonate back. And so it is with our words and our thoughts. We are sending out a vibration, and that is what we draw back in. We will draw back in what we are sending out. And whatever you focus on will magnify. So, do you want to change your life? Change the way you think. Do I want to change my life? Absolutely. There are things in my life for sure I want to change. And I know that that will happen as I change the way I think. Because what I'm sending out in my thoughts, what I truly believe, I will draw into my life. There is a name for it, and it's called faith. And I want to talk more about that next week. You know, how faith works and why sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. So you're not going to want to miss that. So please do tune in next week for that. In the meanwhile, have you downloaded my single? Did you know that a few weeks ago I released my debut folk rock single? It's called His Legacy, and it is free to download at christinerosemond.com. The link is in the description. Please do get that to yourselves. Also, I will be releasing another single in the very near future, so stay tuned for that. If you found today inspiring, do please like, share, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I do love to hear from you, and it keeps me encouraged, so I do appreciate it. And I will speak with you all next week. Have a great week. Alright, take care. Bye for now. Out of the heart the mouth speaks. Which is it? What is it? Oh, and while I'm on, if you suffer with cold sores, I know the perfect remedy, and I'll tell you what, it is not cold sore cream. No, it is not. I have probably spent hundreds of pounds on cold sore cream over the years, and all the time, the best remedy was in my cupboard, and it's probably in yours too. Alcohol. Yes. Now, I do like a little tipple now and again, but I'm not talking about drinking it. I'm talking about dabbing a bit on with some cotton bud. Yes, it burns it off. Jobs are good and don't need cold sore cream. Anyway,